and happy Eagles victory Monday to everybody out there. Welcome into the PHLY Phillies podcast. I am Jamie Lynch, not nearly as hungover as last Friday, if you were kind enough to tune in, with Renee Washington, Tyler Zulli, and it is we're going to start there, Renee, because there's a lot to get into. The morning hot stove. We have some Tyler Zulli kind of sicko trade proposals. A lot of kind of signings are happening now before the winter meetings, which are only like really 10 days away, more or less. Lot to get into there, but a Monday in Philadelphia after an Eagles win is just kind of sports utopia. And the Eagles moved to 10-1 on the year, take down the Buffalo Bills. I know you said your heart rate yesterday, much like everyone in the Delaware Valleys, was up and down and all over the place. And I woke up this morning still kind of in disbelief that Jalen Hurts is not normal. Yeah. I mean, honestly, this group is built different. And I've been saying it because they've been getting a lot of flack about, you barely beat the Commanders. The Eagles lost to the Jets. The Eagles have had a lot, their offensive lines had a lot of turnovers. But overall, and I know Tony Romo was saying it, and I've been saying it. Don't get me started on Tony Romo. Jesus. But I have been saying it is championship DNA to be able to find ways to grind out wins, and they're ugly wins, but you're still beating. I said before, you beat the Bills, the Dolphins, the Chiefs. You beat the Cowboys. It's. At this point in the season, to be 10-1 and us to still be having the same conversations. The Eagles struggled, but they won. And Jalen Hurts, without a doubt, MVP season that he's having, which is wild because he's had a lot of interceptions and turnovers. But to have the type of performance he did and the way he still bounced back, this team, 4 games in a row that they put us through this up and down roller coaster, Jamie, of stressing at halftime, crying, cheering. I was literally doing that last night. Woo! Oh no! Woo! Oh no! It's fun to watch, I guess. But I'm enjoying the fact that we're 10-1. The meme is perfect out there. If you've seen it, I know the Eagles tweeted out the Kelly Green version of it last night. But if you've seen it, it's the eagle head, and then what would you call those, like bracket parentheses at the bottom? The show, and it's like before the game. I can't wait to watch my favorite team play in the game. This is absolute torture. And then at the end of the game, oh cool, we won. And that was fun, and we'll do it again. And it is. Fun. I did a halftime reaction video. I was in here with Bo and Andrew doing the Eagles post and pregame last night, and I did a halftime reaction video where I went and poured myself a cup of boxed wine because the first half was causing me to drink. It was so ugly. Jalen Hurts had a 7 quarterback rating. The offense looked like dog shit. Yeah. DeAndre Swift had the same amount of rushes as Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott. I was just like, what is going on? A.J. Brown had 1 target. You just couldn't get anything going. And the defense kind of kept you in the game there because 14 of the Bills' 17 points at halftime were from Eagles' self-inflicted wounds. Yep. And you were just like, all right, well, this is the one they lose. And I kind of started. feeling that too. Yeah, I was like, I didn't expect them, especially to stretch through Christmas with the 49ers, Cowboys again, Bills, obviously Chiefs last week. I wasn't expecting the Eagles to go undefeated through this stretch, and I expected they're going to lose one. And so I was like saying the same thing. Oh, you know what? Last night weather was crappy, so I already knew it was going to be an issue because the Eagles don't play as well as the Bills do in inclement weather. And then yet again, down at halftime, the 4th straight game, the Eagles are down at halftime and come back and win. To me, it just shows, okay, the first half needs some adjusting because you cannot continue to dig yourselves in holes and have these, grinded out games down to the wire where you're winning. Now, I love the fact that we've seen resilience and Jalen Hurts being one of them, so resilient to be able to score that rushing touchdown to win it. But let's not get there. Let's not continue to dig that hole. Yeah, you can make it easier on yourself at times. Let's just change that. And you mentioned it there a minute ago. He's already set a career high in interceptions, and he's going to exceed his total probably by 6 or 7 interceptions on the year. But guess what? He's the odds-on favorite on DraftKings right now to be the league MVP by almost 200 points more than Lamar Jackson. So he did take that resounding lead in terms of NFL MVP. And to me, like a step back was natural because he was so good last year. Mm-hmm. But if his step back is still being the league MVP after 12 weeks, it's a sign that we have something really special here in Philadelphia. And, the Phillies run, unfortunately, came up short. But now you're right back into an Eagles Super Bowl run, potentially. And the Eagles became the first team since the Bills in 1992 to go 9-1 and better the year after losing a Super Bowl. So when you put it in context of, like, how hard this is for a team to do, in my old age, I just try to sit back and enjoy the ride as much as I can, knowing how hard championships are to come by. They're not like the defining thing anymore for me, where the majority of my life it was. Now it's like, man, if you can get dominant seasons, and this kind of sounds like a loser, if you come up short, like, okay, it obviously, like, I still think about the Bradbury penalty last year. How do you decide the game? Like it still, like, irks my soul, and I still think about it, but enjoying this, 3 or 4 month run of a team this special with back-to-back come from behind victories over Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. It's just something to kind of marvel at what the Eagles have become.
Yeah, and I know in the chat you guys are jumping on the conversation as well. My last thought on this, Jamie, last couple things is I could not believe when I heard the stat that Jalen Hurts last night became the first quarterback ever to have 3 consecutive seasons of 10 or more rushing touchdowns. And so when everybody's ready to say Jalen Hurts is not an MVP, Jalen Hurts, people still act like last season's run to the Super Bowl and this season's 10-1 start is a fluke. It's an accident. They're not really that good. I still hear a lot of non-Eagles fans that have said that, haters. But at the end of the day, you can't take away what this team has continuously done. And even with everybody that wants to, my brother included, Mark, I'm looking at you, for those that have continuously been angry at
your brother. Wow.
Brian
Violence.
Johnson, because he's struggling and his play calling is questionable. And yes, I agree. The offensive line has been frustrating at times. There's been a lot of plays where, like, why are we doing this? But the Eagles are still 10-1. So despite all of the frustrating aspects, the fact they are still winning games, and Jalen Hurts, my only concern is the fact this knee, and I know I talked about it before the show, the lingering knee injuries have continued to bite the Eagles. Of course, we saw our colleague Fletcher Cox go down yesterday with a groin injury.
Our coworker.
We've seen...
That's my deep tackle.
Yes. We saw Lane Johnson unable to play. Injuries at this point in the season are expected, and yet the Eagles still found a way to win. So with all that being said, with the big target on their back for making a Super Bowl run last year, I expect this year to be a difficult one because every team's trying to show that the Eagles did not belong in the Super Bowl. Yet, the Jets are the only team that's been able to put a blemish on their record, and the Eagles are showing, yes, they did belong. And yes, like I said, because of how wide open this season's been this year, where no one is consistently doing well week to week, the Eagles, to me, are absolutely showing that they can get back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there was so much to, like, kind of be in disbelief about yesterday. Like, I woke up this morning still, like, thinking, like, man, I can't believe they won that game. There was the Zacchaeus touchdown, which to me was, like, if you want to put a play attached to the MVP award this year, that Olamide Zacchaeus touchdown was beautiful. A great catch. I'm not taking anything away from Zacchaeus, but that was an absolute thing of beauty from Jalen Hurts to keep the play alive, to scramble out on 3rd and 15 and hit him.
I thought he was just doing a Hail Mary. I didn't realize
he put it the only place that was kind of safe, and that was the throw of the game to the Jake Elliott 60-yard field goal. And I gave Zach Berman a homework assignment. Jake is a scratch golfer, and I asked him if Jake pulled out his stinger kick, because in golf sometimes when the weather is shitty, you got to keep it low away from the elements, and you just kind of sting it low. You probably have the same shot in soccer, whatever that kick may be called in soccer.
You just drive it more. You don't want it to get as much air under it.
And he just kicking into the tough part of the stadium, the north side of the stadium, where wind's coming at you. It's wet. It's slippery. All the elements are stacked against you. And Devontae Smith had, I thought, the quote of the game. He goes, "Yeah, I was going to watch. When you don't watch, it's because you don't know what's going to happen. I knew he was going to make it, so I watched." And I was just like, damn, Jake Elliott, greatest all-time Eagle kicker. Bo said it last night in the pregame, and it kind of took me back because BG just surpassed David Akers. And it's like, no, Jake Elliott's more clutch than David Akers, can kick the ball further than David Akers. And then the play in overtime, just an absolutely wild Eagles game. That's going to be putting a smile on my face all week, Renee.
Yeah, Bradbury's pick.
That was the momentum shift.
That was a huge momentum shifter because the Bills are about to score on that drive. And then also even the play in overtime that was questionable of if it was an incomplete pass or was it a fumble.
That wasn't even close to a complete pass.
No, but
Tony Romo was getting all hot and
yeah, but it still made me.
Woo!
I was annoyed the fact that we were having that conversation and even discussing it because I'm like, no,
because he was actively cheering for the Bills to
Yeah.
win the game. Tony Romo, how have you gotten worse since you started? You started out and everybody was like, this dude's going to be great. He's calling plays out and giving you kind of that quarterback inside look. And now I just find him to be insufferable.
Because he's Tony Romo.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
did we expect him to maintain? He always has a drop off.
I
That's
know.
what Tony Romo did in his career. That's what he's doing now as a broadcaster.
All right, last thing before we move on to the Phillies and the hot stove and the sicko trade rumors
Yes.
and all of that.
Because we'll get there.
I want to give a couple hat tips out. Some obscure ones. Obviously, Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelsey with a huge block on that touchdown. All
Oh
the
my
cast.
gosh.
Jack Driscoll actually
Jalen
didn't
Carter.
suck. Jalen Carter is a freak. And by the way, Jalen Carter Baby Rhino shirts available on the PHLY locker room sale. It's Cyber Monday. I pushed for the Jalen Carter shirt personally because I effing love this kid. He is an absolute force. But his counterpart, there's a couple obscure ones. First, Reed Blankenship. 115 total snaps in that game yesterday when you take into account special teams. His 95 defensive snaps played is the most since 2012 in the NFL.
Insane.
That's Travis Hunter level of snaps in a game.
Insane.
You are not supposed to play 95 defensive snaps and win the game, Renee. That's just something that doesn't happen. So Reed Blankenship, 115 snaps. And the other obscure one who had a really big play, Jordan Davis played, I think, 67 snaps. The big boy gave maximum effort out there on that Josh Allen third down save.
360 plus pounds.
Did you hear how fast he got moving? For a big man at 390 pounds.
He's faster than some of the people in this room.
16.8 miles per hour while chasing down Josh Allen, who was running 18.1.
And Josh Allen's one of the more mobile quarterbacks.
Yes. Yeah. Jordan Davis, hat tip to you. Way to represent Big Boy Nation out there.
Hustle, man.
Hustle Award. Great job by him. Most snaps of his career. So all in all, just an incredible Eagles game. And I woke up this morning just smiling about it still. It was a great one.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely great. It was a lot. It was an emotional roller coaster. But most importantly, it was a win. That's all that matters. Finding ways to win games. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you're joining the conversation. I know we're talking Eagles because last night's game, much like the last few weeks, have been insane. But here we are, guys. Another victory Monday. The Eagles continue rolling 10-1. As you mentioned, making history. The first time since the Bills did it many, many years ago to be a team that can start off 10-1 after making a Super Bowl run. So the magic continues in Philly. Wasn't all magical this weekend, Union, I'm looking at you, but we'll get there on our show later.
Yeah.
But there is a lot to be happy and excited about. And one of those things to be excited about, as Jamie just alluded to, it is Cyber Monday. I love this day because as someone that loves to online shop,
I've already made some purchases. I made a purchase this weekend. I got myself a new hoodie, and I had to get the Baby Rhino shirt.
Of course. And the great part about Cyber Monday is we've got deals for you right here at PHLY as well, because we've been giving a great weekend. It started Black Friday. It's still going on today. It's not too late. It's only 11:47 in the morning right now as I'm reading this. You've got time to still go out and shop on the PHLYlocker.com, and you still have a chance to take advantage of our deals. We've got 25% off the entire PHLY locker, and you can spend if you spend $75 or more, you also can get a $15 gift card. And like Jamie said, we've got some great merch. We've got some PHLY merch, but we also have things like the Baby Rhino shirt. We've got a Tyrese Maxey shirt.
The Tyrese one's fire.
That one is absolutely fire. So go check out the merchandise that we've got there. We've got some sicko shirts for all you sickos in the chat and those that you tune in on podcast platforms and everywhere else. So go on over and make sure that you're checking out our PHLY Cyber Monday sale. It's at PHLYlocker.com to get a nice 25% off the entire website. Deals.
Renee, you've astutely noted I am that guy now in this economy.
You are so that guy.
That points out the price of everything. And like I know in the world, a lot of $65 to $85 hoodies are getting normalized as the standard.
Yeah.
You can right now get a $40 extremely comfortable, durable hoodie, and that's just a flat out bargain in this economy.
And
All
yes,
right.
Dave, we should have a t-shirt of YouTube chatters. Listen, we also take some ideas for shirts because we had the Attaboy Harper shirt that we launched in the midst of the Phillies playoff run. We've got shirts that we drop all the time, merch that we're dropping, great prices, as Jamie's saying, in this economy. Ew. And so you can take
Drinks by
advantage of those deals
Manco.
again. PHLYlocker.com. To spend $75 or more, you get a nice $15 gift card on top of the 25% off you get. Deals, and more deals on this Cyber Monday.
All right.
We've got Spiral Out, Dave, MBDBDBF, John, Michael. Welcome everybody
I guess
into the
people are here for
conversation.
baseball talk?
If you want to talk baseball,
We
yes.
can talk Eagles all day.
Spiral Out is going to pick up the maxi shirt. Definitely,
that's a good
definitely
one.
do it. But yeah, you know what? There's been a lot, Jamie, this past weekend. And I, coming into today, was like, holy moly. Thank you, Dave, for the comment. Holy moly, there's a lot that broke out this past weekend. A lot of rumors that are really picking up and gaining some traction, too.
Let's start off with the morning hot stove and just round up the rumors and the moves from the weekend. I think we'll start with the two moves that happened. They're fresh. The big one, I guess you could say, because he is probably a top 5 pitcher on the market, is Sonny Gray. Now, I had started to internally rationalize that he was going to be a Brave. I accidentally tweeted out for a moment this morning that he did sign with the Braves because Sonny Gray to the Braves was that much on my mind. But he, in fact, signs in baseball heaven, St. Louis, to play for the Cardinals. 3 years, $75 million. He probably took a higher annual average salary on a shorter term deal. I'm sure he wanted a 4 or 5 year deal, but if you throw $75 million at him, pretty good deal, I think, for Sonny Gray. Probably slightly more per year than I would have guessed he got. But St. Louis was desperate. They've now added Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson, and Sonny Gray now. So they've basically revamped their starting rotation. It seems like they were so desperate to me to get guys to completely revamp their rotation that they just went out and got like sure things in Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn right away. And now they were able to add like kind of the crown jewel of that. So they probably have some stress off their plate in a little bit. It's not the most exciting rotation in the world, but it's definitely better than what they've had. So Sonny Gray, officially a St. Louis Cardinal, 3 years, 75. So again, the market has kind of been a little more dug into the sand with Aaron Nola and Sonny Gray going. So it'll be fascinating to see what Snell ends up getting, what Yamamoto ends up getting.
Yeah, I mean, at one point we were talking about it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We thought Sonny Gray was going to be replacing Aaron Nola, and oh my, how things have changed. Instead of Nola going to Atlanta or St. Louis, it's Sonny going to St. Louis. But yeah, I know in the chat right now, MBDB, saying, that deal's about right. And like we mentioned, we agree. I mean, right now, that's kind of where the market's at, 3 years, 75.
I thought he was going to be like a 4 for like 85, 90 kind of deal.
I think it shows just what they're willing, kind of their projection, I guess.
Desperation
of Sonny.
is a stinking cologne.
Yeah, he's older, and that shows where they are kind of picturing Sonny Gray to come into their lineup and help for 3 years.
Yeah, it's it's a pretty solid deal for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's probably a better pitcher than I gave him credit for when we kind of started talking about him as, one of these top 5 pitchers on the market. He's had more than just 1 or 2 pretty solid years. So good move for the Cardinals. Good news for the Phillies fans in terms of the Braves not getting them. We'll see what happens with the Braves. But speaking of the Braves, before we get to the other moves, and Tyler, I'm curious your opinion on this one. The Braves and White Sox have engaged in trade talks for Dylan Cease. This is on baseballrumors.com. As things stand right now, the Atlanta projection of the rotation looks like Spencer Strider, Max Fried, Charlie Morton, and Bryce Elder, with that 5th spot being a competition between A.J. Smith-Schwaber, Dylan Dodd, and a potential return of Ian Anderson, who underwent Tommy John surgery early last year. Ian Anderson was a guy that looked like he was going to be a staple of the rotation for a while. Now it looks like the Braves are looking to possibly bump that 5th spot out of being a competition. Maybe he's a guy that converts to the bullpen, whatever it is. But Dylan Cease to the Braves rumor is picking up steam. Tyler, as a Philadelphia Phillies fan, if the Braves were to get Dylan Cease, your immediate reaction would be?
The stuff is great. The numbers are not. But then you look 2 years ago and he was fantastic. He posted a 2.2 ERA, but the walks are killer, right? He led the league in walks last year with 70-80.
And his exit velocity was the highest of his career last year as well.
And he had 79 this year. Guys, do you want to take a guess over the last 3 seasons how many wild pitches Dylan Cease has thrown?
Last 3 seasons, I will go... The amount of wild pitches has Renee coughing. It must be kind of
I'm dying. I'm sorry.
I'm going to go...
Help.
Let's go 43.
It's not quite that high.
Okay.
It's a 30. He's throwing 30.
Sorry, I'm super distracted because I'm just trying not to
You're
die over
coughing
here.
about
So
Dylan Cease's
I'll
fastball
come back.
rate.
I'll enter the chat a little later.
He's thrown 34 wild pitches.
Okay,
over
so
the
I
last
went on the
3
high
seasons.
side with
Oh,
43,
wow.
and I wasn't that far off.
You were just reversed.
But here's your numbers that are of concern.
Number dyslexic this
3 years ago,
Yeah.
it was at 3.3 strikeouts to walk ratio. 2 years ago, it was 2.9. This season, 2.7. The walks per 9 have gone up each of the last 3 years. The strikeouts per 9 have gone down each of the last 3 years.
Yeah, so overall
Yeah.
you would feel solid move, solid gamble for them. They clearly have the Phillies on the mind here with wanting to improve their rotation.
They're going to overbuy for Dylan Cease because of the fact that his stuff is legit. And 2 years ago, he was a Cy Young candidate. And I don't know which Dylan Cease you're going to get in 24, but my guess is it's probably closer to the one that is walking more guys and striking out less.
Unless Atlanta and their pitching culture is able to cultivate something or see something. And, like there was a pitcher, Brent Terry Strome, who me, you, and an old friend of ours, Pat, used to always talk about. He was the guy with Houston, and he was with Arizona this past year, that would see something in a guy like a Charlie Morton and go, I can unlock his spin rate. So maybe Atlanta feels great. Who is their pitching coach, by the way? I know you know this, you sicko, don't you?
It's
Yeah, I know this too.
It's
ex-Philly guy.
It's Colonel Sanders.
Yes.
He looks like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah. The hell's his name? He was in Philly.
It's not Bob McClure, is it?
No. God. Rick Kranitz.
Yes.
Because
No,
that was the
yeah.
Aaron Nola rumor that those
Yes.
two were tight and he was going to go there because of Kranitz. So maybe Kranitz is like, yeah, I can fix Dylan Cease. And if that's the case, that would give me a little hesitation, to be honest, because that would become a pretty nasty top 3 and 4, to be honest. If Charlie Morton's your 4, that trumps the Phillies 4 of Taijuan Walker or Christopher Sanchez, whoever. It's probably Sanchez. That would give me a slight hesitation. But as Vince Pellegrini was peacocking around the offices this morning going, the Braves aren't a concern of mine. The Braves aren't a concern of mine. And I was like, I know you've gotten them twice in a row, but like, they're still a really good team. They're always a concern of mine.
And the Braves have been very aggressively shopping for starting pitchers and looking to round out their pitching arms. And that is something that is a concern that we have to keep an eye on because, yes, we're happy that Dave was able to make sure Aaron didn't go to Atlanta, but we don't want other pitchers going to Atlanta that Kranitz can improve. And now instead of having a down year, Cease or whoever they bring in is having an up year because Atlanta is also 1 or 2 pieces away. And you hate to say it, but it's the truth. We already know that. So we are keeping an eye on Atlanta, and they are a threat without a doubt because 2 back-to-back years knocking on the playoffs.
I'm not peacocking.
I'm not going to be cocky and say it's absolutely going to happen again next year. So that is something we're keeping an eye on, and rightfully so because watching you, Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, you always, they. And then I said to Vince, well, I don't even know if I want to win the division so you can get the bye. And then I was like, wait, do I want the bye? I actually kind of prefer just playing through, to be honest. Back to that playoff discussion. There's something about baseball and doing the simulated games, having that week off.
Not the same.
I don't know if that's a positive, like it would be in, say, football, where you get to rest your body. These baseball players are just creatures of habit, and I almost feel like not having the bye is somewhat beneficial, and I feel like the results kind of back that up a little bit. A couple other moves in baseball. Kent Maeda, 2 years, $24 million to go to Detroit. So a Japanese pitcher goes to Detroit. Maybe that gets them in the Yamamoto sweepstakes since he wants to play with another Japanese.
Does he, though?
No, he doesn't want to go to Detroit. He absolutely does not. In other news, the other Japanese pitcher, Shato Imanaga.
You were practicing this.
I nailed it earlier.
Yeah.
Imanaga officially got posted this morning at 8:53 a.m. So the bidding war is now 45 days open for his services, about a week later after Yamamoto. So I think it's by January, what was it, January 5th?
If it's the 4th for Yamamoto.
So then he's probably like January 11th-ish, roughly. So we'll see who gets involved with him. Pretty good pitcher there, not Yamamoto, obviously. A couple other moves. Longtime vet Paul DeJong is joining the White Sox. And the Diamondbacks, the team the Phillies lost to.
Who?
This team in Arizona that plays in a stupid humidor ballpark. They made a trade for Eugenio Suarez from the Mariners.
Eugene Krabs?
Yeah, Mr. Krabs. I haven't looked at the chat, but I'm sure Mr. Krabs is in here. They grab a Suarez for their third base hole. So the Diamondbacks make a move there. But Renee, I know you saw an article this weekend about Jordan Montgomery, who now with Sonny Gray off the table becomes the non-Yamamoto and Blake Snell top prize. So he becomes the third most important pitcher, I would say, on the open market. You know some teams that are interested in him.
Yeah, and there's a lot. I'm going to add to your hot stove updates.
I love some MLB Hot Stove. Almost winter meeting time.
All right,
it's really starting
gather
to cook.
gather round. All right, so Jordan Montgomery as of today. Now, the Rangers, Yankees, and Cardinals are reportedly very in on Montgomery, which is interesting.
Rangers, Cardinals, and who?
Yankees.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yankees have had their name in every hat possible right now. Cardinals as well. And according to John Heyman, the Rangers hope to bring back Montgomery this offseason, but they have competition for left-hander from the other two teams that are very familiar with him as well. And he also was writing that the Yankees and Cardinals have both reached out to Montgomery.
I wonder if the Gray thing changes anything with their interest.
That's what I wonder.
Or if they're just like,
trying to
screw
do
it, I
both.
want 5 new pitchers.
So there are a lot of teams that are actively shopping for multiple starting pitchers, the Phillies being one of them. So I'll get to some Phillies updates in a moment. There have been consistent, it seems like, teams that are aggressively looking to bring in two starting pitchers.
Remember, we brought up the John Heyman report last week that he said there's 7 or 8 teams that are looking for multiple starting pitchers, not just one.
Exactly. So the Yankees, who, of course, drafted Montgomery back in 2014, looking to see if they can possibly bring him back. He's played with St. Louis. So those three are actively shopping for Montgomery. The Yankees are also, of course, one of the many teams that are interested in bringing in Yoshinobu Yamamoto, because everybody, for the most part, is, as his agent did say, about 10 to 15 teams that are interested in him. So with that, the Yankees have continuously been another team that's been very active. John Heyman also talked about they're also very particular about their starting pitching targets. They won't consider every big name hurler on the market, but Heyman is saying that they are interested in, again, Jordan Montgomery and Yamamoto, as well as Frankie Montas.
I think Frankie Montas is like the low key, like best value deal out there. I'll be curious to see what he ends up signing for
this weekend. The Yankees there were some reports that they would try to bring in Montgomery and Montas, an M&M reunion in New York.
Well, Montas, only pitched what, Tyler, like 2-3 games for them last year?
No, I think he only made one start.
I think he threw
like 5 and some change innings, and that was about it.
Yeah, and that was a season ender for him.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Then, Renee, we have some positive news potentially.
Wait.
Oh,
I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
Psh, psh, psh. Down, boy. So also, Juan Soto update.
Oh, I did not see this one.
Yeah, I just saw it this morning, actually, like a couple minutes before our show. So if Juan Soto is traded, because of course there's still the possibility he's not moved, the Yankees, there have been reports,
the broke boy's gonna have to borrow
another
more
Yankees
money?
report that the Yankees have a very good chance of getting him because allegedly
He's going to be a Yankee.
a person close to Juan Soto told Hector Gomez of the DRZ101 Digital, told Hector Gomez that Juan Soto has a person close to him that has reported that the Yankees have a very good chance of landing Juan Soto.
He's going to be a Yankee. I've already accepted this, Renee.
That source also thinks there's a greater chance that Soto will remain in San Diego too than be dealt at all. So it seems like it's like San Diego or New York, the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's seeming like
I
those are the...
I know they'll only play like 25, 30 games together because Giancarlo Stanton is just constantly injured.
Right.
And Brian Cashman is right in his comments about him a couple weeks ago. But in Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Giancarlo Stanton outfield Maybe you make Stanton the DH at this point. I don't know their DH situation. Tyler, the real sicko, might. But the three of them together in an outfield when playing for 25 to 30 games would be pretty insane.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Yankees want to get the sex appeal back in the Bronx, like, this is the way to put some butts in the seats.
You're bringing sexy back. This is how you're doing it.
If you get Montgomery and Soto in an offseason for the Yankees, that's pretty damn strong.
Yeah. Well, as Spiral Out said, I'm still cooking, so back away, Jamie, from the stove, because I got a couple more nuggets.
Wait, I got breaking news for you. No, not really. But apparently, Jason Hayward and the Dodgers are kneeling a 1-year deal to stay in L.A. via Keely McDaniel from ESPN.
Oh, well, let me raise your Dodgers news with some more Dodgers news.
I just raised your hot stove. Now, what do you got?
So, of course, Shohei Ohtani, got to continue talking about one of my possible future suitors and husbands, and Shohei. This weekend, Mark Faison and John Paul Morosi both were talking about some Ohtani updates, of course.
Ohtani.
Yeah, I only like it for Orion, though.
I think it's better for Ohtani.
Well, he doesn't play here, so we don't give him songs. He doesn't get jingles and songs. He only gets songs if he plays for the Phillies.
What is that, auto parts?
Auto parts. Yeah, that's it. So both Morosi and Faison agreed that the Dodgers are the team most likely to land Shohei Ohtani.
Who is?
The Dodgers.
The Dodgers?
The Dodgers, most likely.
It does feel like that's going to happen.
Of course, we did hear that Ohtani might be finalized in the next couple of weeks. Faison is believing that we might see an official signing and news breaking about Shohei Ohtani before the end of the winter meeting. So some updates there we'll keep an eye on. And of course, there was the clarification around Yamamoto for anybody in the Discord that continues to join in our conversations regularly. Our very own Vince did share the update that Yamamoto's agent made a clarifying statement saying that he is, originally it was reported, and it was a misunderstanding in translation, of course, that Yamamoto was only interested in playing with a team that had a fellow Japanese player on the club. But now he's made the clarification that that is not the case and that Yamamoto is open, to going to whatever team. Doesn't have to be a team that has a Japanese player, which means the Phillies are still in the conversation.
Yeah, our buddy Vince in the office here, like he is irrationally like, I think they're going to get him. And I'm like, you don't actually, if they do, obviously great. I think it's a great bridge to the future with Painter and all that, and I would completely understand it, and it's not my money, and I don't give a damn. Go get the guy. There's nothing I'm saying that's against getting him. I just think it's like a 4% chance, at best. So I never want to, yuck somebody's yum in terms of their wants.
I'm hearing that a lot lately.
In free, Thanksgiving time, I guess.
Yeah, everybody says that.
Everybody's got their,
year.
I don't want to be that guy, but I just, I find it very irrational that the Phillies would be the landing spot. But here's to hoping.
Yeah, and we will see, because Yamamoto does begin the first stage of his conversations this week.
I think the winter meetings are going to be
meetings
real
with
hot
all
for
the
him.
teams that are interested. And then he is expected to also arrive in the U.S. for some in-person meetings and negotiations in the second stage. So let's figure out where he's landing, and let's meet him there at the airport and make sure we greet him.
Yeah, the winter meetings are going to be a lot of fun. And you know what else can be a lot of fun? Wheelhouse Cards. Because they have two convenient locations in Wayne and Westchester. It's Zach Berman's son's favorite store because it's our go-to sports card gift and apparel shop. If you're a card head or an apparel head, you got to get out to their shop because their motto is cards and community, because a love of sports unites us all. They carry all your favorite card brands like Top Chrome Baseball and Mosaic Footballs, as well as T-shirts, hoodies, hats, shirts, and plenty more from Mitchell & Ness, 47 brand junk food starter, and one of my favorites, Shy Vintage Sports. And if you're looking to get your sports card collection graded, Wheelhouse has got you covered with PSA grading submissions. They also host a ton of different family-friendly events and birthday parties every single month. So stop into either of their stores in Wayne or Westchester, open 7 days a week at 11 a.m., and use code PHLY to get $10 off any purchase of $25 or more in store. Real simple. Just tell them PHLY sent you, and be sure to give them a follow at Wheelhouse Cards on Instagram. And while we're in this, let's take care of some more business. And let me just tell you about Game Time.
Pay those bills.
I'm going back to back on it. Pow, pow. Use Code PHLY, again, with our friends at the Game Time app. If you wanted to go down to the Bills game yesterday, Game Time is the place to go for your last-minute tickets because buying tickets should not be a hassle. You just tap on the phone, and you can be there. It gets sent directly to you, so you don't have to go rooting around for anything. They have flash deals. Yesterday's a perfect example of last-minute tickets. People might have seen the rain yesterday and been like, I don't want to go. It's going to be cold and wet. And then now how are you feeling about that now?
Because I'm so glad I didn't go.
An all-time Eagles game.
I'm coughing as it is.
Well, anyway, people might be unloading those tickets, right? Because the rain. And you might get some great bargains. Flash deals, last-minute tickets, easy to find. You can look at images of your seat view in the game and take advantage of all the people that were cold and wet and didn't want to go to an all-time Eagle game. But at halftime, you probably would have hated life because that was really ugly at that point. Yeah. But Game Time makes getting into the game easy. It's the fastest growing ticket platform in the country for a reason. You can buy tickets in seconds, 2 taps, and you're set. Tickets sent directly to you. So download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, just create an account and redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
I felt like I was at the game, by the way, because I live so close and I tweeted this out. I could hear it. Yeah. So when Jalen Hurts scored the game-winning touchdown, but as he was running, and my TV is actually on time, but of course TV in general is always like a split second behind live and in person. And as I was watching him run in, I heard the going off and the celebrations, and I was like, oh, we're about to score. Well, obviously I knew about to score. So yeah, I was there. I was basically there.
Yeah, sometimes my house is on the flyover trajectory.
Yeah, I always get that too.
So sometimes 3 or 4 minutes, whatever it is, not long before the flyover, we'll hear it, and it's like,
it's time. It's time.
So make sure you're checking out Game Time if you want to get into some of these games. All right, we got a lot to get to.
We do. Time is ticking, Jamie.
Yes, we might save the Rhys Hoskins stuff a little bit for tomorrow, but we'll deep dive it tomorrow. I want to get into the teams. The Athletic wrote a story this weekend.
And I have some more Phillies news.
Well, let's do that. That's more important than Rhys Hoskins.
Well, it's not actually. Actually, one of them is.
All right, what do you got?
All right, well, one is just business because Aaron Nola, of course, the details did come out officially around Aaron Nola's other offers. Did you see this?
Maybe.
Yeah, so did you guys see this is the real question.
I think I saw it.
So if you didn't see this, here's the update. So Scott Lauber of the Inquirer did share some of the updates on Aaron Nola's other offers because everybody was curious. We all were, of course, what Aaron Nola turned down to take the 7-year deal with the Phillies. Now, the Braves offered Aaron Nola. Anybody want to guess?
Ooh.
Let's make this a trivia thing.
Is it the same amount of years?
No.
Okay. I would go 6 years, 180.
Tyler?
I think they offered 5 for one north of 150, south of 160.
155-ish?
Yeah.
We'll say.
Chat, let us know what you think Aaron Nola was offered by the Braves. Now, according to Scott Lauber, the Braves offered Nola 6 years, $162 million deal, which is a $27 million average or annual value. Would have been the highest AAV among a Braves team if he had taken that deal. Ham, BKE, and MBD both were saying 6. You were correct, and you both were actually extremely close. Wow, Ham, BKE, you said 6 for 165, and it was 6 for 162. You win a chance to go shop on PHLYlocker.com and take advantage of those Cyber Monday deals. Also in that...
Cyber Monday! Cyber Monday!
And then also the Dodgers.
Wacky inflatable tube arm, man, on Cyber Monday.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's from Family Guy. We're children.
I actually never was a huge fan of Family Guy. If you can't tell by my not knowing that reference, like you both got it.
You don't know wacky waving inflatable arm play on
I don't at all,
Cyber
actually.
Monday.
So the Braves allegedly also increased the offer once they heard that negotiations with the Phillies were heating up. And the other team, the Dodgers, were also, as we know, very actively shopping for, or maybe you don't know, the Dodgers are very actively shopping for Nola as well. And I'm just going to give you this deal because we've got to move along here. And they also brought a $165 million deal to the table. But Aaron Nola made it very clear to them he didn't have any aspirations of playing in LA. He didn't want to live in LA. He has a dislike of the city, is what Aaron Nola said.
I like hearing that.
So those are the two teams, the Dodgers and the Braves, that offered him, a nice 6-year, $162 million deal, and then the Dodgers up in the same ballpark in terms of numbers. And then a positive that I saw writer Brad Wakai, I'm sorry if I'm saying your last name incorrectly, write about Corbin Burns. Ooh. Allegedly, as we know, Dave Dombrowski's still one of, as we talk about teams still actively looking for starting pitchers. Sure. Dave Dombrowski's made it clear we're not done yet with Aaron Nola. And so there have been reports that, according to Jim Bowden, that he wrote for The Athletic, that right now Milwaukee is actively looking to shop our boy Burns, but also looking to shop Willie Adams as a package deal. And so if Adams is included, of course, that would probably make the deal a lot less enticing for the Phillies. They don't need shortstop Willie.
But we do want Devin Williams. Am I right, chat? I mean, I am a little surprised there hasn't been a little bit more of a trickling, and hopefully the winter meetings will get it, that the Phillies are in the market for not like a Josh Hader top of it, but like somebody that possibly could help in the closing role in case Alvarado falters, or, I do like their bullpen as is, but I do want one, maybe two more, like one minor move, one decent move. Not that over the top, Josh Hader type of move, but I'd like another bullpen arm. That's for sure.
Yeah. And
if Devin Williams is potentially gettable, I think you kind of make that move.
Well, it appears, according to Jim Bowden, and this article, I read it through Brad, but he was reporting on what Jim was saying, that they're both likely to get traded this offseason in Corbin Burns and in Willie as well. And there's a 35% chance they stay until the trade deadline and 65% chance they get dealt this winter. And so that has you thinking about, as we talk about starting pitchers, Wheeler, Nola, Burns,
that's
Ranger.
That's too horny to comprehend. Like, that is baseball horny. Like, Tyler, could you handle Corbin? Like, are we running the 4 aces back? I mean, I'll throw Ranger in there.
No, but I mean, it's a damn good 4. Wow. Like, I'm not saying they're the 4 aces, but they're quite good.
Filthy. So yeah, I mean, that's really good.
Yeah.
So I do want to get to Tyler's sicko trade stuff. But tomorrow we'll deep dive this Rhys Hoskins thing, because The Athletic did put a piece out this weekend, named 7 possible suitors for Rhys. I wanted to talk about the fits for each, because I am going to cheer Rhys Hoskins on. He's one of those guys that has...
Should we really share the teams and then we can...
Yeah, emotional equity with me. So I'm going to follow him next year. And I am curious where he ends up. But those teams were the Cubs, Brewers, Padres, Red Sox, Pirates, Nationals, and Rockies. So we'll deep dive some of that stuff tomorrow. But those were the teams mentioned as possible Rhys destinations. I would hate to see him in San Diego, even though he's from there and the weather's awesome and all that. But, we'll discuss that a little more.
So much hot stove. There's so much going on in the kitchen today, Jamie.
Yeah, there was. Well, it's the weekend. You got to recap it all in the kitchen. So the sickest thing we have in the kitchen is Tyler Zuli's brain. And I saw we went a little bit viral in the White Sox Nation because they caught wind of our Luis Robert trade that we proposed. And it was really funny because the White Sox fans got their teeth into it. And they were going, no way is this deal fair. No way. Controllable guy for 4 more years. Blah, 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 blah. This isn't enough. And they were like, how about you give us Bryson Stott? And
I know. I saw it. I was like, wow.
And Phillies fans are going like, dude, we're giving you, a #1 prospect, a kid in Rojas who, if he can become a consistent bat, is a really exciting prospect. A couple other high-ranking prospects. Like, this is totally enough. What are you guys talking about? So it was a great job by Tyler. And he throws these out there not to say, this is realistic or this is what you should do. It's just kind of like fun. A barroom discussion. Would you? Does it benefit both teams? Could it be realistic? It's just a fun kind of baseball sicko off-season discussion, and that's the only reason that Tyler brings them up. But they've been generating a lot of buzz. I know people in the chat love them.
Oh, yeah.
We like getting tortured by them. Our buddy Vince loves it. As soon as he walks in the morning, he's like, Tyler, do you have your trade proposal?
He's like, what's the trade today?
What's the trade today? And then they come in here and huddle over the computer monitor and then start
like,
deep diving baseball reference and comparing stats and this and that. So, Tyler, you sick bastard, what do you have for us today?
Triple T, baby.
By the way, we don't talk about these before the show starts, right?
No, we don't.
Me and Renee do not.
Tyler's trade talk is always just sprung on us, like it's sprung on you guys in the chat. And like Jamie said, it's just a chance for us to have a conversation like we would do with our buddies.
Would you? Would you not?
It's just fun. Would you rather game, basically, of Tyler's trade talks. All right, Tyler, what you got?
The two of you don't see these before the show starts. And the reason that I preface that today specifically is because you literally just, not Corbin Burns, but just got done talking about this guy.
Oh, Devin Williams.
Yes, it's going to be a lot. Listen, he's
going to cost you a ton.
He's going to cost you a ton.
And on the chat, they're already talking about Devin Williams.
Pitch.
There is one name on here in particular that people have some kind of like cult following for already, and I'm curious your thoughts. So I know we're having the
graphic is not flashed yet on
technical
on
difficulties
YouTube.
here. So here is your trade.
All right, here we go.
The Phillies get Devin Williams. The Brewers get Mick Abel.
See ya.
Orion Kerkering and Starlin Caba.
I would.
No. Oh, Tyler!
I mean, that's probably like fair value. Like,
oh man,
a back end of the bullpen potential piece in Orion. A potential two? Like Abel's ceiling is probably a two, but more realistically
high
a three.
Yeah,
somewhere in that range in the majors if he pans out. And then Starlin Caba, who could be an exciting prospect, who's kind of rising the charts quickly within the Phillies organization. I would do it. I would do it. I think Devin Williams would make this bullpen potentially the best in baseball. Like, I think he's that good.
So I will say this, that the two at the top, Abel and Kerkering, were locks for this trade. It became a matter of what's the third piece that puts it over the edge. And I think that when you're looking at those three, Caba might be the overpay of the three, because I think Abel and Kerkering are like, they're going to call for those two guys.
But with Stott, and somebody just said this, Dave Dewar in the chat, with Stott and Turner here for the foreseeable future, what is Caba's?
Correct. So to me,
that makes it a piece that you can kind of live without.
I would take the deal also. I know Spiral Out said you need a parental advisory sticker on all these trade graphics. Listen, I know people in the chat the same thing. This is a win-now team. And this would make, I mean, you're bringing in a former Rookie of the Year, Relief Pitcher of the Year, 1.53 ERA.
Sure.
Devin Williams at 29 that we know what we're going to get for Devin Williams. I do feel like Orion specifically, we saw in the postseason, he's got he's young. He was just drafted a year ago. Orion has a lot specifically that he still has to work on. Devin Williams is ready now.
Yeah.
Same thing with Mick Abel. So I like this trade actually, and I would do this, especially since Milwaukee's been actively looking to shop their guys and looking to make some trades. This gives them some youth, and we don't really care how they benefit. But most importantly for the Phillies, this is a win-now team, and being able to plug in a Devin Williams.
I mean, if you go Devin Williams, Alvarado, and potentially Orion or Sir Anthony,
Craig
7-8.
who?
Well, Orion's going in the deal.
Oh, that's right. Orion's gone. So Hoffman or Sir Anthony in the 7th.
Oh, my goodness.
That potentially becomes a back end of your bullpen that is just filthy. Yeah, I'm in because, like you said, it's a win now window. Like, these guys are all in their primes. They're all in their early 30s, yada, yada, yada. It's go time. And I think Devin Williams is a piece that absolutely is worth pushing in for. Hopefully the fire sale in Milwaukee does. I mean, they've said kind of anybody can be discussed.
They did.
So
and I know
hopefully they mean it.
Exactly. I know in the chat you guys are also talking about the financial side of things. I think this trade, when you're looking at it financially, giving up Orion and Mick does allow for it to pan out. I know MBD saying you would sub an Aiden Miller in there.
But again,
not sure for who.
The middle infielder is a position where, I mean, Bryson Stott isn't going anywhere for a long, long time. And Trey Turner is signed for what, 9 more years or 10? 9. He was 11?
It's a long deal.
Yeah, so Aiden Miller is super exciting and skyrocketed up the prospect ranks and all that. But it's like, what is the position for these guys?
Exactly.
First is locked down. Second is locked down. Shortstop is locked down. Third is you really like Bohm. I don't know if I say he's locked down yet, but maybe. But, like, there's really not infield positions to be had. So then, therefore, those chips become trade pieces, essentially.
Right. They're assets to use to be able to bring in someone like Devin
somebody that
Williams.
can help you win a title. And Dave Dombrowski's never done shopping. So, Tyler, hat tip. I like this one a lot.
I like this one too.
This might be, outside of Corbin Burns, the most realistic and exciting one.
I was gonna say the same thing.
James, buy me a Coke.
I was literally saying the same thing. That Corbin Burns has me all excited, and I had a whole song. I didn't make a Devin Williams song now. This has me thrilled to even think about this potentially happening, and I could see this being realistic. I know these are just some speculatory, hypothetical, would you rather types, but this is definitely
reality,
very realistic with how Milwaukee has been openly sharing. I mean, that's what I was just talking about with Corbin, and really they've been openly sharing. They're looking to shop. We're looking to shop too. It's Cyber Monday. Let's make this deal happen.
It's Cyber Monday.
Let's make this deal. It's a deal. Deal or no deal, we're taking the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I like that one.
In the chat, you guys are saying the same thing. In a heartbeat, John, you're saying. Dave, you're all in. I know you guys, Lisa, you're saying your heart says no, but you keep saying we have to strengthen the bullpen, and this would absolutely do it. So, yes. Agreed. This would definitely.
Yeah, well, Dave Dewar in the chat is saying they're not taking that deal. I disagree.
So I think Dave is looking at the one that MBD put together.
Yeah, with
I think that's what
because I think that's
putting Miller.
I think it's a very fair deal for Milwaukee. I mean, if they believe Orion can be that back end of the bullpen piece, he replaces Devin Williams in a year or two, and if they believe in Mick Abel and like what they've seen from him. You know, like that's a really good return. And then you get Cabo on top of it. If, Adams is gone and I think their second baseman's also available. So, like, you could potentially fill 3 holes from one bullpen arm on a fire sale. Bullpen arm.
Just watch your wording over there, buddy.
Yeah.
Watch your wording over there.
I think that's a more than fair return for the Brewers to get for a bullpen piece.
Thank goodness King Krabs is not here because you are just teetering on some interesting things over here.
If you get that and a Corbin Burns haul,
oh my God,
that's how you do a rebuild.
And Milwaukee has been stressing they want to rebuild.
Yeah, so
this to me makes sense. You get rid of Corbin, you get rid of Devin, send them on this way. We'll help you with that rebuild. I know there is, of course, the concern about the future and all that, but as we're talking about, it's a win now situation. You'll cross that bridge when we get there. And someone like Devin, he's 29. He's in a great prime of his career, and I'm taking the deal. I'm taking the deal.
Hashtag do the deal.
Deal. Yeah, you guys in the chat are getting super excited as well over this trade talk. You know what else can get you excited? It's FOCO, because FOCO has great deals, and especially as it's Cyber Monday, FOCO gives you a chance to be able to take advantage of buying some merchandise that you can shop for. Now, over at FOCO, they've got everything. They've got bobbleheads, collectibles, they've got shirts, apparel, any sort of apparel, I should say, slippers, hats, whatever it is that you're looking to buy, you can head over to FOCO to purchase it. And with our promo code PHLY10, you get 10% off of your purchase. So as they are always having our back for us here in Philly sports, they've got yours too, because you can check out all of their great officially licensed gear, as they are a leading manufacturer of all sports and entertainment, sunglasses, bags, hats, you name it, they've got it over at FOCO. So head on over to FOCO, check them out using that code PHLY10 that is on your screen to be able to shop till you drop over at FOCO. And in case you need to refuel from all the shopping that you're doing this Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you can go over to Hero Bread to do that, because Hero Bread is the place that also allows you to eat healthy, fluffy, delicious bread that is also nutritious and good for you. They have bread that is high fiber, ultra low net carbs, 0 grams sugar per slice, also way fewer calories than the leading national brand. And with Hero Bread, you can use the code PHLY that is also on your screen at hero.co to get 10% off at Hero Bread. They make sliced breads, tortillas, buns, rolls, you name it. Hero Bread's got it. And they allow you to eat healthy this holiday season, and also making sure you're eating delicious while you're doing that. Regardless of allergies, your diet, your lifestyle, Hero Bread's the place you can go for those low carb options that fit your lifestyle. All right, guys. I know we're all super excited because of all this trade talk that we've been having. And it's been an exciting Monday. It's Cyber Monday. It's a Victory Monday. We've got some trivia. We've got some trade talk.
It's time for Renee to be tortured.
Jimmy Rollins' birthday today.
Is
so
it?
happy
J-Roll.
birthday to J-Roll. Turning 40.
I hope he enjoys some of those J-Roll pre-rolls.
Turning 45 at that. Yeah, excited for him.
One of my all-time. Definitely a top 5 favorite Philly for me all-time.
Yeah, I forgot he was on WWE Raw. It also was an exciting wrestling weekend for anybody that's a fan because I was thrilled to see Randy Orton back out there. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Well, I saw CM Punk came back.
CM Punk was back too.
Yeah,
Randy Orton was back.
I know. I'm amazed every time wrestling takes over the Twitter timeline.
Oh my gosh.
How many people watch wrestling?
Survivor Series.
Tyler, do you?
I did for a long time.
Okay.
I kind of got out of it. I would say I was 17, 18 when I kind of stopped.
So in high school, back at LaSalle College High School, a lot of guys, it was the Stone Cold Rock days.
Classic era for wrestling.
And everybody at the lunch table was talking about wrestling. And I was like, all right, let me give this a shot. And I put it on and I was just I tried it for a couple, Monday Night Raws or whatever. I tried for a couple weeks and I was just this isn't for me. I can't do it.
So I used to play the video game. I used to
the
also
video games are fun.
The video games are awesome. I used to have because my brother was big in wrestling, and being the tomboy that I was, we would always play the toy ring, and you had all the
clay figures.
You had all the action figures. My cousins were big into it, and so we would always be playing in the living room. Dropping them down from high up, whatever. But I was definitely into the Stone Cold, the Rock era, and then Triple H, and then recycled back John Cena, Randy Orton, The Miz, CM Punk. Oh, what a time!
I know all these names because everybody talks about them, but I have no
So me and my brother had the ZBWL, which was the Zuli Basement Wrestling League. And, we had storylines. It was just the two of us, and we would make up characters. We had full-on entrances.
That's wild.
What was your song? Do you remember?
Oh gosh, I had we had 4 or 5 different
characters.
people. So
you were switching. Okay.
Oh yeah. So we would do tag team matches, and whoever wasn't on in the ring on our tag team would be the opponent. It was
just
legit.
Just the two of you having whole tag team matches?
Backstabbing and storylines. Return from it was legit.
I love that.
So is CM Punk? I know both of their names, but it's that big of a return. He left for a long time.
He did. He disappeared off the face of the earth. He's older too. It's kind of like if Stone Cold Steve Austin
it would be like if J-Roll walked out for the Phillies and was I'm going to play a game for you.
Yeah, and that's what the Survivor Series was, all these big names that kind of came back, and it was a mixture of new and old, and it was awesome. It was great. So
I'm happy for
awesome.
all the wrestling
but
fans
I forgot
out there.
Jimmy Rollins was involved with WWE Raw back in '93 as I was just searching for how old he is. But
wait, he was involved? What did he do?
I don't know, actually. He was
Did he make an appearance on it?
I guess. I'm going to find out.
All right. Well.
But I didn't realize that, and I remember I had heard something about it, but I didn't realize he made an appearance on WWE Raw apparently back in '93.
J-Roll does it all.
Yeah. Okay. So there you have. I don't know. It is what it is. But apparently it's also Jimi Hendrix's birthday as well. So it's a big day for the Jimmies.
Oh.
And hopefully it's a big day for us because before we wrap up, we do have to do Guess That Ballpark, which I was kind of teetering around and stalling, but I feel like I guess we got to do it.
Jimi Hendrix, real quick, is perhaps my all-time favorite musician. This is what a sicko I was in 7th or 8th grade. We were on a family vacation in Seattle, and I made my parents drive me to Jimi Hendrix's grave. And it was
How old were you?
7th or 8th grade. So what's that like?
And you went to visit his grave?
Yeah, because I was obsessed with Jimi Hendrix. And we got out there and there was a bunch of joints and guitar picks on his grave. But it ended up being a 35 or 40 minute drive outside the city and on a family vacation. My parents took one for the team and drove me out to Jimi Hendrix's grave.
So you were on a family vacation and you wanted to go to a cemetery to visit someone that's not actually related to you. And what did you do? Okay.
Just
and
observed
and you asked to do this.
That was my request for Seattle. Was they have some kind of was it the Rock? It's not the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, obviously, but it's like the Museum of Guitars or something. So it was kind of like a theme day for me because they knew.
But the museum makes sense to me. I love a good museum.
Jimi Hendrix
huge
grave.
museum. No, I'm a huge museum person.
Jimmy's the
and
coolest.
I love history too, but I wouldn't want to go see anybody's grave site. I don't even. I don't grasp what's fun about that.
I guess they say, Renee, I'm built different.
You are definitely built different. I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know if it's just me, Tyler. I don't know, but I just feel like it's weird to go unless you're going to Santiago saying I don't get it. I don't know. Apparently, it's the big. Would you guys do that? You would do that? Like, whose cemetery are you going to visit?
I visited Ben Franklin's on a class field trip.
Wait, but that's different. That's a class trip, which is also a weird
right
trip.
Across from the Mint, too. It's
Wait,
very
Ben
convenient.
Franklin's gravesite?
Yeah, it's right over there by the Mint.
But that's different. It's not like in a cemetery.
It is. It's just a small church cemetery on the corner of Arch and, what is that, 3rd, maybe?
I don't really know. I don't get that, actually. I don't think that's normal. I don't think that's normal. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not going to die on this hill
I think it's
alone.
definitely normal.
Puns intended.
When I visited Monticello.
Oh, you're a regular cemetery visitor.
Regular, like Jimi Hendrix is the one I went most out of my way for.
I'm not an MBD. I'm not afraid of the dead. I think there's other ways to honor them. I just think it's weird. Like, here's, I guess, what I'm confused about. Like, what is fun if you're you're in 8th or 9th grade to go stand at a cemetery and look at their
standing over his presence.
But like, I'd rather go to like a museum, or if they have something like that where I can see his clothes, or I
did all that.
So like that part makes sense to me, but like standing over
I don't know.
his
Like I was standing over Jimmy. Like his bones were down there. I don't know. There's something. I'm not like some sick, twisted like cemetery person, but like me in the moment, I was.
David's saying like reflecting,
kind of standing over Jimi Hendrix, and I was going, "Wow, like one of my idols is down there."
Well, Lisa wants to go see Milton Hershey's grave.
Really?
Yeah. That's interesting.
How about guess that ballpark?
Yeah, I don't know. We just got very morbid here.
I don't think it's morbid.
I mean, it's actually not, because death is a part of life.
Yeah, I don't think it's morbid. I just threw that little Jimi Hendrix fun fact out there on his birthday.
I guess I'm just trying to process, you know.
Happy birthday,
I'm also
Jimmy.
Still stalling because I don't want to do guess that ballpark.
Well, all right.
Because at this point, I feel like I'm going to be in a cemetery if this continues.
All right. Time to torture Renee.
No.
And Tyler, we both missed it on Friday. That was Wrigley Field.
Yes.
Lisa agrees with you.
So.
She understands what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's not morbid to me. It's kind of cool.
I'm all about visiting, like, my last thing and then moving on, because I like to have the last word, if you guys haven't noticed. That's a Virgo thing. And this is also probably why I'm hashtag single Renee Santiago, since you always come in this show and like to drop a hashtag single Renee.
Somebody said promise Rhys talk, and we got cemeteries instead. It's Jimi Hendrix, man.
We did promise Rhys talk. We made him the thumbnail. We talked. But okay, I like a good museum, or like even this is where they ate. Like if it's a site of like, this is where the sit-in happened, or this is where they had a burger, or this is where they, marched. Like, I love that historic stuff of like being in the moment of their presence.
Sure.
But it's
his final resting place. It's the god of the guitar, Jimi Hendrix. Like,
I think Jimmy. I would love to go see some Jimi Hendrix stuff. But
I know you listen to Jimmy, but do you really hear Jimmy? That's a movie quote. Do you know? Do you know the movie? Either of you?
It sounds like a half-baked type
I
reference.
feel like
It's Wesley Snipes to Woody Harrelson and White Men Can't Jump.
It's a good movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, when they're listening in the car and Woody's like, yeah, Jimmy.
It's a great movie.
And Wesley's like.
They remade that movie.
Yeah, with Jack Harlow. I have very little interest in seeing it, but I did love that movie. Shout out Rosie Perez.
And my boyfriend, Sinqua.
Who?
Sinqua.
But yeah.
Like, beautiful, handsome man.
Yes. Wesley hits him with I know you're listening to Jimmy, but do you really hear Jimmy? So anyway,
I hear that it's time for Guess That Ballpark.
Time to torture Renee with Guess That Ballpark. So now that cheating is official here at Guess That Ballpark.
Oh my gosh.
I have my images ready, and I'm still going to fail. So Tyler.
All right, for the record, the score currently is 3-2. I'm in the lead.
With a full week advantage of cheating for Renee.
Not a full week.
For the record.
All right, I think that you guys, oh no.
Martian Lynch says the Jack Harlow movie is better.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I find that hard to believe, but I'll give it a shot.
I feel like with technology, movies, like when they remake movies, they quality-wise always look a little bit better.
Ooh. All right, the stadium is up on our screen, Renee.
Here we go.
That is a...
Shine bright like a diamond.
Funky looking one.
All right, guys, we've got this today. We've got this. Can I
ask a question of the council?
Sure.
What? The council?
You can ask. I may not give you an answer.
Has Dodger Stadium been used? Because I'm confused internally about that.
No, it has not.
Wait, no, we didn't. Where's your list, Jamie? You don't have a list of
I
our
know.
previous
We actually need
ballparks?
a list.
I have the list.
Do you?
I do.
All right.
Oh, no.
All right. There's a time limit on our cheating.
No, there's not. All right, in the chat, you guys, drop your thoughts on what you think this ballpark is. See John singing it's Oracle.
I think I have my guess.
I don't know.
A quick cheat.
I didn't agree with you guys last time, and you were correct. And I'm a little nervous. It does kind of resemble.
It's that point in center field that's throwing me
it
for a
does
loop.
kind of look. Ooh, I don't know. It does kind of look like San Fran, but I feel like didn't we do that? Where's my list? Oh no, we didn't do that yet. What was the last one we did again?
Ooh.
Oh, Wrigley. That's right. It does kind of look like. Oh man.
All right, I have my 2.
2. Wow.
Now I have to.
Oh, Jamie, you're doing a new tactic today because you're tired of locking in a wrong
I've been
answer
just
too
firing
quickly.
from the hip. Yeah, like a wild man.
Sucks to suck.
Ooh. Let me see this again.
All right. Not all these oohs and ahs. Lisa, you're saying Target or National. Marcia's saying chat, don't answer. You guys can answer. I'm not pulling my answer from yours because I already have an idea.
All right, I got my guess.
What?
And it wasn't one of the original 2. I think I'm locking in. Do not look at my screen, Renee. Even while cheating, this game is very hard. Tyler.
That's what I keep saying. It doesn't matter.
One more
There's no
question
way
for the
to
council.
cheat because it's difficult.
Have we done Progressive Field in Cleveland?
We have not.
Okay. That is my guess. I'm going
We did
with
Progressive.
I don't believe we did.
I am going with Guardians, Progressive Field, whatever the hell it's called in current day.
Ooh, that point at the top.
I think it's still
Progressive.
I think it's still Progressive.
Final answer.
Dang it, I guessed Progressive before.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to say the same thing as you.
If you guess Progressive 30 times, you'll go 1 for 30. It'll be great.
I could just be right, Renee. Did you ever think about that? I could just be right. All right,
It
Tyler,
does
I think
kind of
it's
look
time
like
for the 1 minute
Progressive, too.
countdown
Wait,
for Renee.
no, this is not.
I think that's fair, Councilman.
Councilman. We're not giving him a title to schmooze him into giving
We can't
it.
be here forever.
Yeah, 1 minute
We're
countdown.
not going to be here forever because we have more. I have
on.
another show.
Siri, 1 minute countdown.
Jeez Louise.
Okay.
Okay.
Starting 1 minute timer.
But I don't even know where to begin because
There, you got 55.
it kind of looks like
50.
it could be City Field. Why does everything look like freaking City Field to me? I hate it here. I need to like
more than
draw this out.
40 seconds remains, Renee.
No.
Already down to 37 with that no.
No. Oh no.
And
No.
next thing you know,
No.
30
This is
seconds.
the problem. I do see Progressive also, but I don't want to have the same answer as you. Dang it.
Well, I could just be right.
But
And
I
that's
don't
something
wanna-
that's probably something you'll lose sleep about if I end up being
Okay,
correct.
would I rather be right and we're both saying the same
15
answer,
seconds.
or would I rather be wrong and you get it right? I'm gonna go Progressive.
10 seconds.
Are we locking in Progressive for both of you?
Final answer. We have
It's
5
Progressive.
seconds.
It's got to be Progressive. Crap! I don't want to
3,
be right with you.
2,
All right, I'm locking in
1.
Progressive. Dang it!
Wow, the double Progressive Field.
Phenomenally impressive that you
Did
both.
we hear the answer in the chat?
Phenomenally impressive that you both came to the same conclusion and
we're wrong.
Still wrong.
Okay, don't show the answer. Don't show the
Oh,
answer.
it's already up there.
Oh, crap.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet
I didn't
because
see
we're
it
on a
either.
little bit of delay since our TV is
Wait, what?
on the fritz
Don't tell me I
today.
was right and I should have stuck with Oracle.
No, it wasn't Oracle either.
was it Dodger
Oh, that
Stadium?
makes me feel
No,
better.
it's Nationals Park.
What the heck?
Ah.
Where? How? It literally looks like Progressive. I'm going to Nationals.
It looks
How
like
is it Nationals? It looks so
like
much
Progressive.
wider.
Now this is
No.
gonna chew you up.
No,
well, at least you
because
didn't have
it
the
really.
right.
No, thank goodness I didn't say you the right answer.
Yeah.
I feel better about the fact that we both got it wrong.
All right,
But
well,
I will
fair enough.
say it looks more like Progressive than Nationals to me. What the heck?
It's a hard game, and that's why we like to put Renee in the torture chamber
Listen,
every day.
if you would like to protest this answer, our
not
social media
protesting.
coordinator is
protesting.
right down the hall. He makes all these graphics.
I'd
His
like
name
to
is
throw
Chris.
the
You can
challenge
find him
flag. I want to
two
be
doors
your.
down.
I want a VAR.
Hasn't VAR doomed you enough this past weekend?
No.
Stella! Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here today as Renee's going to go lose sleep that she followed me into a wrong answer.
Challenge flag. I'm going to challenge flag.
But again, one last time before we get out of here, it is Cyber Monday. I can't stress enough $40 hoodies in this economy of this quality and this durability. And the camo one I just ordered this weekend for myself because I think it's awesome. We got some new awesome shirts out there. I think the We Bleed Kelly Green one is a real pretty shirt. You got the Baby Rhino Jalen Carter shirt. This dude's going to be playing, getting enshrined in Canton one day. That's my hot take. So we might as well get a Baby Rhino shirt in his rookie year and grow along with him. Tyrese Maxey shirt. There's some great Flyer shirt. I like that Union shirt with the snake logo. That's pretty cool as well. So there's a ton of great stuff. 25% off today. Take advantage of it before it's too late because the holidays are going to be here before you know it, Renee.
Oh, did you put your tree up this weekend?
I did. We had a great Saturday family day. Took the girls out, got the tree, decorated the house.
You have a real tree.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my wife would not stand for an artificial tree.
Oh, I'm artificial all the way because I want to reuse it every year.
Well, I mean, from an economic standpoint, you're correct. That's the best. I mean,
and
$85. Or no, we paid $100 this year. It's crazy. I know.
Yeah, I've got my trees up.
Yeah, of course you do. I'm surprised you don't have a tree in the offices yet.
Okay.
Trees are expensive.
Ironically, I had my tree by the door to bring to the office today, but my hands are full, and I didn't feel like going back in the house to get it. So I was like, nah, I'll just get it.
There is one coming in.
There's one. I literally have a tree for the office. And I really had it by the door today, ready to bring it today, because I was like, I put up my decorations. I was ready to bring the tree in, but then I didn't want to go. I was feeling lazy. I didn't want to take 2 trips.
And my buddies were actually debating this. Now, we work in an extremely cool job that I think both feel very fortunate to do and be a part of every day. So it's fun for us to come into work. Most people, a lot of my buddies, my college text chain of good friends, said that this is either the 3rd or 4th worst workday of the year.
Wait, today?
Yes, because it's a return from vacation, and there's this last-minute scramble in these next, 2 weeks to try and get work done before the holidays. So they all said this is either 3 or 4 for me on the terrible workday calendar of the year.
This time last year I was in that corporate world. And let me tell you, the 3 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas are miserable. Miserable experience.
It's like, why are you there?
No, it's not why are you there. It's a mad, like Jamie was saying, it's literally like
the last chance to get stuff done.
It's crazy for how much of a scramble it is.
Yeah. So
I don't know that life.
So you're coming off a vacation. You don't want to go back to work. You're back at work, and then every work hardo you know is like, we got to get this done. We got to get this done. We got to get this done in the next 2 weeks.
End of the year deadlines and quarter 4 analytics and whatever. Well, glad we don't have that issue.
Hedge funds, venture capitals, finance, who knows what the hell
our biggest issue is guess that ballpark, apparently. Like, I'll take it. I will take it. That's the most stressful thing about coming to work every day is Tyler sicko trade talks and guess that ballpark.
But if we can be a reprieve from you on a terrible office work day, please tell any of those Philly sickos in your life to check us out. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the channel here on our YouTube page. The numbers are growing. We love all of you. And, can't wait for the next Philly season, but obviously you'll get a little bit of flavor.
I didn't realize you guys get ads in the middle of our show like that. I just saw an ad. I just happened to look at my computer screen and another ad just popped on.
I don't know what's going on.
Wow, that makes you guys even more diehards and sickos that you just hit that skip button and come right back to the conversation. But that's it for us. We've got enough that we've talked about today. More Rhys Hoskins tomorrow, though. Sorry we went down a cemetery and all types of rabbit holes.
Respecting Jimi Hendrix on his day of birth. I'll go visit his grave again. All right. She's Renee Washington for Tyler Zulli. I'm Jamie Lynch. Thanks for checking out the PHLY Phillies podcast. We'll be back tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Can't wait to see all of you then. Have a great rest of the Monday, everyone. See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.